Hey friend, Tina with Tina Fike Fitness here, and today we're going to be talking about neck pain specifically. However, these protocols are powerful and effective for many upper body dysfunctions that take place through the thoracic region of your spine. So from mid-back to the base of your spine, this is your thoracic. So you're going to hear me use that word a decent amount through this video. I'm going to try to keep my language as simple as possible so that anyone can benefit from this video. Okay, equipment that you're going to need. I want to keep this, again, really simple so you can do this at home with what you have available to you. I have a stability ball. However, the movements that we do with the stability ball can also be done in a gym off of a weight bench. I will show that. One of them you can also do off of your bed at home. And then I really love this. It is not mandatory, but about 90% of my clients who try this in the studio end up buying one. I am not endorsed by this company. I don't make a penny from you purchasing this piece of equipment. I just love it. It is an AccuMobility roller. You can find them on Amazon for, I want to say they're between $50 and $60. So they're not cheap, but they are amazing. I use this piece of equipment every day. My husband deployed to Korea last year, and within 2 weeks of getting there, he bought a second one so that he would have one in Korea while he was gone. So if you don't have an AccuMobility roller, you can absolutely go through all of these exercises with a roller. I will show that. You're also going to want to have a mini band. This is an extra light mini band, but extra light or light, you're going to want to have one of these. And then lastly, you're going to want to have a softball, lacrosse ball, and a tube sock to protect your wall. The tube sock is not mandatory, but it's a really awesome hack that I learned taking some courses. And you're going to put your lacrosse ball or your softball into that tube sock, and it also gives you a really handy handle that you can grab onto as you move that ball around to hit the right spots, okay? Now we're going to start with some release work, which is just self-myofascial release. We're going to be trying to find trigger points specifically through your erectors along the side of your neck and your rhomboids, which is this triangle in your upper back, okay? And the muscles surrounding that shoulder blade, okay? Because that's going to be an area with a lot of tension if you're struggling with any sort of pain, okay? So I'm using a softball. Some people prefer the lacrosse ball. I think it gets deeper into the muscles, which it does. It's a smaller point of contact, but I really like my softball. So I'm gonna put that on the wall, and I'm gonna just kind of search around my scapula, my shoulder blade, and through those muscles along the base of the side of my neck, and not rolling onto my neck, but right there at the base along the shoulder blades, okay? And as you find those trigger points, you wanna just hang out there and kind of wait for that to release, which could take 30 seconds, it could take 2 minutes. Just hang out. And if you have concentrated pain on one side or the other, focus on the side that is actively in pain, okay? Your other side might be completely fine, which is something that we evaluate as we go through assessment. And as you find those trigger points, again, just finding those spots, hanging out, breathing through it. And once you feel like you've gotten a decent number of those knots worked out, you can do it on one side, you can do it on both sides. It just kind of depends on what specific dysfunction or pain you're dealing with right now, which is something that I do in my programs. We can actually evaluate virtually to see what is going on, what the root of the problem is, and address it through virtual programs, which is really neat. But this is a really great way for you to get started at home trying to fix some of those trouble spots. Okay, now, once I've done that release work on the wall, I am going to come to the floor. This is where my AccuMobility roller becomes my BFF. Again, if you don't have one, you can use a foam roller. However, I'll be honest, This move in particular can be tricky if you're dealing with neck pain with the foam roller being so low to the ground. Obviously try it. If it doesn't feel safe, don't do it, okay? Now with my AccuMobility roller, I'm gonna place it along my mid-back, and first I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna try to find trigger points along my lats, along this long muscle down my back, okay? And go nice and slow. You find a trigger point, hang out there. That's the other nice thing about this AccuMobility roller is I have these bumps along the roller that are gonna help me release those trigger points. Whew, that's a good spot right there. On me. So we're gonna find those spots, and as that starts to feel pretty good, then I'm going to sit, and I'm gonna do a thoracic, what we call a thoracic extension. Thoracic extension, believe it or not, we do need range of motion coming back and extending through our spine. So we need to work on that because oftentimes with neck pain in particular, our heads, from staring at phones, from sitting at computers, our heads get stuck in this forward position, right? And for good posture, we need to be up, we need to be tall. And what is lacking when we're stuck in this forward posture and our head is stuck kind of jutting forward like this, we're stuck with a lack of thoracic extension. And to correct that, we need to spend time in extension and trying to mobilize that extension. So from here, I'm going to reach up and back, going nice and slow, being really conscious of my neck, and nice and slow coming back forward. As you come back forward, you want to be very aware of your core pulling, and also this deep cervical neck flexor is this tissue thin muscle at the front of your neck, which oftentimes when we're talking neck pain is very weak. Believe it or not, this is a muscle that you need to work. We're going to do a few exercises for that throughout this protocol. Okay, and you can also put your hands at the base of your neck if you need to, through that extension to support your neck. Trying not to pull with your hands and your arms. My hands are literally just here for support, so my neck isn't in pain as I go through this. And as you can tell, I like to hang out here at the bottom of the extension for a few seconds, and then I come back up. And you'll want to do about 10 of these. Working up to where you can be unsupported. And a lot of that is going to come down to this deep cervical flexor strength and of course core, which we'll get into in future videos. Okay, now once I get through those, now we're going to mobilize our thoracic spine. You see, here comes that word, thoracic. We need a lot. Not only do we need extension through our spine, but we also need mobility, movement through our thoracic. Oftentimes, through daily life, we don't move in big rotational patterns, but our body needs that rotation. Otherwise, our body gets stiff, right? So, and we're going to get into low back pain in another video. However, when there's low back pain, often that low back pain stems from a lack of mobility through the hips and or the upper back, because our lumbar spine, this piece right here, our low back, isn't designed for all that rotation. So it's designed to be stable, to help us get through life safely, right? So our core, the job of our core is to stabilize our spine. It wraps around. We're going to do a lot more on core in the future. But it's not designed to move a whole lot, but so many people produce their rotation from the lower back right here, which leads to a lot of problems through those lumbar discs. Again, future videos, future protocols. But for today, I just want you to understand that we want that rotation to come from the thoracic, from the upper back. And when that's missing, all kinds of problems happen up the kinetic chain through our spine, which includes our low neck and includes, well, our entire neck and includes the mid and upper back, which is specifically what we're talking about today. So for this, all you need is a foam roller. I love this move. I'm gonna angle my camera down just a little bit because I don't have a professional camera crew. So I'm gonna lay on my side and I'm going to just lay my leg rather on top of that roller. And from here, I'm just gonna lay on my side. This hand is gonna reach across my fingertips. My thumb is gonna stay on the ground and I'm gonna follow my fingertips with my eyes and I'm gonna come all the way over. I'm a little close to the wall right now, but hang out here for a minute and then you're gonna come directly across and you're gonna reach across your fingertips. Again, that's important that you reach across the fingertips so that we are extending out these muscles, stretching them out, thumb on the ground, and it's okay if you can't keep your thumb on the ground all the way around yet. Believe it or not, it is more challenging than it looks, but it feels amazing. And I like to hang out here for a second, come across. And if this bothers your neck to be in this side lying position, you can absolutely put a pillow here or just something to keep your spine in neutral as you go through this exercise, okay? And you probably want to do anywhere from 8 to 12 per side. Keeping some pressure through the core, making sure that the hip here doesn't just, rotate out, which might be very challenging at first, okay? Now, once we've gone through that on both sides, we're gonna go into a child's pose. So, seated back on the knees, arms out in front, forehead to the ground, and try to just relax into that. Feeling a nice stretch down your lats. You can hold from 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and then I also like to throw in some rotation. Again, holding and just enjoying that stretch on the one side and then the other. Okay, and now that we've done our release work, we've done some mobility and stretching, now we're gonna start getting into activation and strength, okay, to support these areas of pain. Okay, so I like to start, where's my ball, with deep cervical neck flexors in my routine. And that's this tissue paper thin muscle right here in the front of your neck. And when it's weak, it can cause a lot of problems. I like to do this move on a stability ball. You can also do this move off of the end of your bed, or you can use a weight bench. I will show you the weight bench because the bed is very similar in just a few moments. But I like to use the ball because I can really support the neck as I go through this exercise. So I'm going to put my hands behind my head so I can lay my head gently on the back of this ball. Now, how deep you go into this, like how far you let your head hang, is completely dependent on where you are in your rehab and how much pain you are in right now. Okay, so from here, I'm going to just hang out here until I feel those neck muscles relax. Okay, because sometimes initially this can be a little painful. And if it is, just come out of the depth of your hang until you find that spot that feels manageable right now. Okay, now I keep pressure through my core, so I'm pushing out against my core, both here in the front and through my spine. Okay, and from this position, you can put your hands behind your neck if you need that support, and work up toward slowly tucking that chin into your chest, and then nice and slow coming back. Again, totally fine to have a little support here at first until you feel safe in that movement. Okay, I always like to err on the side of caution, and you want to do about 10 of these, really nice and slow. Let those muscles relax. Nice and slow. Okay, now I want to show you what that looks like off of a weight bench as well. So I'm going to reposition a little bit. Now, it's going to look a little different off of a weight bench or your bed, because you're going to want to work up to completely letting your head hang. Okay, now if this is too painful coming here, that's completely fine. You can also lay your head flat on that surface, okay, or even with a pillow underneath your head. And from here, we're still doing the same thing. We're still using these deep cervical flexors to tuck your chin to your chest. You can even hold for a couple of seconds and nice and slow come back down. If you're laying flat, neutral, or hanging, same thing. Nice and slow. And back down. This here being the most advanced progression, okay? Minus having someone here giving you active resistance. Okay, just so that you can see what that looks like. Okay, now we're gonna get into the rest of our strength. Starting with our rotators. So for that, I'm gonna grab my mini band. Okay, here's my mini band. I'm gonna put my back against the wall. And from here, I'm going to think about taking my shoulder blades and pulling them into my back pockets, okay? Pushing them down and back into those back pockets. Elbows are at my sides. And from here, I'm going to externally rotate, okay? Make sure that you have pressure here through your core so that your spine, especially your low back, is filling the wall, okay? And from here, I'm going to rotate through my elbows, externally rotating through those shoulder blades. Keeping my back against the wall. You can be as shallow in that wall sit as you need to be, or no wall sit at all. About 10. And then we're going to go into Serratus wall slides. Now, Serratus anterior is this muscle that wraps along your side here. And a couple of variations here, okay? Because we can start this move with just our arms on the wall. Okay, I'm gonna move my camera again a little bit. Okay. And from here, you're gonna put your arms on the wall. I've got my pressure through my core. My shoulder blades are tucked into my back pockets. You want to keep your forearms on the wall. That's where this is challenging, okay, when we have dysfunction in the upper body. From here, we're going to keep the elbows and the forearms on the wall, pushing your whole body weight into that. And then nice and slow coming back down. Sliding up nice and slow. And back down. About 10 to 12 reps is a pretty good place to be, but if you're feeling tapped out at like 8, that's completely fine. Go until the area of dysfunction or pain takes over the movement. That's a general golden rule. A progression for this would be to use a foam roller, and you can put that foam roller along the wall, forearms on the wall. Again, pressure, shoulder blades into back pockets. And from here, and nice and slow back down. Rolling up, nice and slow back down. Okay, same idea. Now, our last move for this particular protocol is going to be our ITYs. I like to do these on a ball. You can also do these off of a weight bench, or even your bed if your dysfunction is just on one side. You can just lay off the side of your bed and let the arm hang, which will make more sense once I show you these moves. I like to use my ball And it can be helpful to put your feet against a wall behind you or a stable surface just so you have a little more stability. And from here, you want to get into a neutral spine position, pressure through the core, and definitely go through one of my videos on intra-abdominal pressure if you do not know what I mean by pressure. Life-changing stuff, especially for back health. All right, here we go. So neutral spine, I'm going to tuck my chin into the back of my head, pressure through my core, and I lift into my eye. Before you lift, tuck those shoulder blades into back pockets so that you're not lifting from the traps, okay, from the upper part of your shoulders, because that's where a lot of dysfunction is felt. And then coming in line with the chest, out into a T, maintaining neutral spine, pressure through the core, shoulder blades in back pockets, and then reverse Y here. You can progress this with dumbbells. Start really light, 2-3 pounds, and then I come back, out into my T, and then back, reverse Y, okay? And go through that I, T, and Y for your reps. And your rep range really can vary anywhere from 5 to 10, 12, 15, depending on, again, where you are in the rehab process and how severe your dysfunction is right now. And of course, if through these movements or this specific protocol, you're still feeling a lot of dysfunction through these movements, I would definitely recommend consulting with a good PT, go see a chiropractor. Your first line of defense, of course, is going to be going and making sure that you have the correct images done to be sure that we don't have anything that's broken or more severe that needs to be treated. Hey friend, I hope that this protocol is able to help you bridge that gap back to full function and pain-free movement. That is my personal mission. Please like, subscribe, follow my channel so that you can catch all of the incredible content that I have planned for the coming months, coming years. And you can also find me in my free Facebook group, Tina Fike Fitness, where you can talk to me personally, get actionable advice. We do live workout sessions. I do a lot of extra education, bonus education on top of this channel. And you can find a lot of support and community there, which is pretty awesome. So I look forward to helping you on your journey. Reach out. I do offer virtual coaching if you want a customized program written for you. Believe it or not, yes, this powerful work can be done virtually and you can have amazing results. So till next time. We're always in this together.